Most couples try to avoid conflict, but it turns out that knowing how to fight may be the key to a happy, long-lasting relationship. In tonight's Fox Forward, Dan Godwin finds out how serious disagreements can actually deepen connections.
Maybe think of it this way. It's not an argument, it's an opportunity. Great to welcome Judith Wright, the author of The Heart of the Fight, a couple's guide to 15 common fights, what they really mean, and how they can bring you closer. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
One of the many important points in the book, breakups and divorces don't happen simply because couples fight.
No, they don't. There's two things. People don't fight well. They don't know the rules are really funny. Really need great relationships, need great fights. And also couples break up not because of fights, but they haven't actually established a great baseline of love and affection and curiosity and affirmation. If you build the positives, you can weather the fights. And if you learn how to fight fairly, your fights can bring you much closer. They can strengthen the relationship.
And in fact, not fighting is really a dangerous policy.
Very much so. You avoid conflict, you avoid intimacy. And if you don't have the fights, it builds up and resentments can build up. You don't solve the problems. You don't get to know your partner. You don't get to know yourself. That fighting is really a wonderful tool of intimacy, and most people don't understand that.
The book examines a number of rules for fighting, including one I never thought of: never take more than 50% of the blame for anything.
Well, it's really true. It takes two to tango, and don't give more than 50% of the blame. Both of you have some role with that. There's another rule related to that, that each of us is 100% responsible for our own satisfaction and happiness. So we realize that, and I can only blame 50% on my partner. I have to take responsibility. How did I contribute? What could I have done differently? Did I communicate what I needed to? Did I say what I needed to? What was my part? Now we've got a much deeper kind of fight that can lead us somewhere.
And you talk about letting go of some long-held myths and delusions about relationships. For example, a relationship in and of itself is not going to make you happy, and they have these studies that 2 years into a marriage, even a good one, people's individual happiness level returns to where it was before the marriage.
Yeah, it appears that we have a happiness set point. So relationships do not make you happy. It's not the purpose of a relationship. I'm responsible for my happiness. You're responsible for your own happiness. And it's not due to the other person. And people think oh, if I only had a relationship, then I'd be happy. No, for a while, you'll get a little boost, but then it goes right back to the level of happiness you had before, and it's up to you to change that.
So what should we see as the purpose of a relationship?
I love that question, because the purpose of a relation isn't to make us happy. Yes, we can have happy moments, but the purpose of a relationship is to learn, it's to grow, to become the best people that we can become, to understand ourselves more, to understand another person, to really evolve and get closer. That's the purpose of a relationship, to really transform. You know, love is messy. We have to forget Hollywood and forget the fairy tales and really roll up our sleeves and dig into the mess, because that's where the depth is. That's where the meaning is. That's where the intimacy is.
All right, Judith Wright. The book is The Heart of the Fight. For more information about what we've been talking about, we've got a link at our website. Just go to fox4news.com.